welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is January 15th, 2017. My name's Eric Peters, and joining me today, Mr. Tom Ragan.
Oh, yeah. Top billing, son.
Top billing. It's because we saved the worst for last, Mr. Dan Curtis.
Fuck you.
You were expecting me to go the other way with it, weren't you?
I saved the show.
You're just never going to let that go.
Really not?
Just you're there in your retirement home. I saved that Factory Sealed show.
What is he talking about? We don't even know what this is.
Sure, Dan. Sure, Mr. Curtis.
Somebody go change his pants again.
I saved it.
Why is he talking to the bus stop again?
Right. Speaking of old people, when I used to work in the old building at work, we were next to a care home. Right, and there's two funny things about this care home. First of all, said care home is situated directly next to a funeral parlour.
Convenient.
Yes, there's some kind of conveyor belt system going on.
It's a trash chute system.
Yeah.
And second of all, one point in the building we needed more space, so we got a porta cabin put on the back, and that's where the marketing team got put where I am, and we're right next to the care home, and when we had the windows open in the summer, every day about 3 o'clock, we could hear some old guy just going, "Help!"
That's him.
Is that where the old lady saying help started from?
Actually, no, but it was so weird. It was but more manly, just "Help!"
They should open up an investigation. Maybe they're being
I
put
felt
down
like
the
we should
chute.
probably do something, but yeah.
Like they're just putting him in early. Like, we're overbooked. Sorry.
It did very much sound like help, but at other times it just sounded like it was bizarre. I just can't believe that funeral parlour's right next door. Imagine just looking out for your window and just seeing that, just like, that's where I'm going next.
Was there a graveyard directly in the back?
Yes, there was.
Good, the circle of life all in one block.
That's Stockton-on-Tees near me. Lovely place.
Is that the Pity Me care home?
No, that's an actual town.
Does
in the
Pity Me have
northeast. Pity Me has nothing, Tom.
It has a post box and a church.
It has Dan there.
Oh, and Dan.
We have a church.
I guess
It has a road through my house, and that's about it, really.
What possessed you to move to that city?
It's not a city, it's a town.
Okay, sorry. What possessed you to move to that village?
Well, it's a suburb of Durham, which is quite... Like, Durham is literally down the road about 5 minutes. So,
like a wee hamlet.
that is a proper city.
Doesn't look like it on Google Maps.
Well, it's a small
Like
city, but
just
it is a city.
Bigger village.
It's got a great university.
Yes, all the posh people go there.
Ooh, Durham Cathedral. What's that look like?
Yeah, my friend's girlfriend actually went to Durham Uni, and she surprised me that they were up the other week, and we were walking past Durham Cathedral, which is, and the castle's next to it, and she pointed up and went, "That's where my university accommodation was." I was like, "In the castle?"
Really?
I lived in a shithole by the river in Sunderland.
Could she have said it any more posh? That was my accommodation.
Oh, they think they're very posh now, dear.
We had a house that we rented simply because it had a beer pong table in it, and about 3 months after we moved out, it got condemned and torn down.
Sounds about right.
So when we found out it was being condemned, we stopped giving a shit. And one night we were having a party, and somebody backed into a wall a little too hard next to the closet and put a hole in it. So we just decided to make it a bigger hole, and that eventually became the door to the closet because opening the door to the closet was too much effort. So we just walked through the wall into the closet.
Oh my god.
Classy boys.
Oh yeah.
That's
It
why
had a
you're
mouse
college.
problem too.
This was during your college days, right? Not
Yes.
adulting. Okay.
Oh yeah. No. It was definitely borderline adulting.
Mm. I remember setting a
shitholes in college.
Yeah, we did as well. Apart from my first year, it was quite a nice flat we were in because it was brand new. I had my own bathroom.
Ooh.
It was quite snazzy. But then in the second year, I put a rat trap under the near my bedroom door. Went to bed and then woke up and it had caught a rat.
Oh dear!
During the night,
like a full legitimate sized rat.
Yeah, like a sort of 6-inch tail,
Size of a dog.
Yeah, and
like something off Resident Evil.
I couldn't deal. Like trying
This
to get
rat's got the G virus.
Just slurping on some broken test tube.
Oh yeah. See, that was a game reference within 5 minutes.
Yeah, I couldn't process it because it was too quick.
We need to talk about nonsense for 8 more minutes at least. If not more, like 15.
Yes. I mean, it was quite a game-filled week, though.
It was.
I feel like we have to address a large part of what happened this week.
What happened this week, Eric?
Nintendo.
Oh, the Wii tablet thing with the weird controllers.
Yeah, it's actually the Wii 2, not the Wii U, it's the Wii 2.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Wii Poo.
Well, I mean, that could be it.
Ma'am, can I play on the Wii Poo? Of course you can, darling.
I think Kat is still going to buy one.
What?
So let's back up a second here. For anyone who has no earthly clue what we're talking about.
Beep, beep, beep.
That's American Dan backing up.
Wide load reversing.
Nintendo held their conference. What is it? Thursday night at about midnight Eastern.
4 a.m. in the morning over here.
Yeah, to unveil more details about the Switch. I stayed up and actually watched it with Matt Ernie and some of the guys from Southwest Florida Gamers, and he posted that on the Southwest Florida Gamers Facebook page, so if you want to check that out. We had a right good time with it, but Nintendo unveiled release date, showed some more video of games, and extensively detailed the console as a whole.
Apart from the tech specs.
Oh yeah, there's no tech specs. They showed off way too many shovelware games.
Yeah.
And then shortly after the conference, pre-orders started going live just randomly throughout different online retailers.
And the games over here at least seem to be about $59.99.
Which is ludicrous.
They're going to be the same price as current console games.
That's not, no, over here they're $49.99.
£60, so we pay about 40 for games generally.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
they're going to be $11 more expensive.
No, £20. So whatever that is.
I thought you said $50.99.
No, sorry.
You can usually get most games for about 40 quid.
Yeah.
So.
These are 60, which is like, and also, like, I looked at some of the games they're announcing are quite a couple of years old. I don't know if they're going to be £60 as well.
Like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Rayman Legends is coming to the console.
Skyrim as well.
Skyrim, yeah. I am Setsuna.
2011. I know it just got
the remastered edition on a console that doesn't have the same specs as the other one running the remastered edition. So it's not almost remastered edition.
Yeah, it's not called special edition. So is it?
It's special in quotations.
What do you think of the boxing game on there?
It's so dumb.
They
spent way too much time. And then the 1-2 switch thing with the cowboy, they spent way too much time on shit they didn't need to show. But I think it's important to note that this was more of a stockholder type conference than it was a Nintendo Direct or an E3 conference. And those are the types of things that the stockholders want to see.
Right? That's what they need to sell the console.
I think they're trying to recapture the magic of the Wii without actually having the magic of the Wii, because that has just come and gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like people who have a Wii aren't going to buy something else. they're happy with that.
So here's how it went for me. I watched it and I loved it, mainly because it was just Nintendo. I'm like, this is cool. It's a new console, and it's kind of hard not to get caught up in the hype of the whole thing. I saw the shit games like ARMS. I don't care about this. This looks really dumb. Why are we still watching this? And they showed 1-2 Switch. Great. That's just the Wii Sports and Nintendo Land for the Switch. Great. I can understand that. Then they showed Mario and I lost my shit. Like, that game looks so good. They showed Zelda. Lost my shit. Game looks awesome.
But they always do. But
yeah.
The problem is, as I've always said with Nintendo, they don't support the console in the time between their first party titles. So it would be a case of buying it. I would buy it at launch. I would get Zelda Breath of the Wild and nothing else. And then it would sit on my unit for about 7 months until Super Mario Odyssey comes out. I'd play through that, and then I probably wouldn't buy anything else.
Did the Wii U have any major first-party titles?
Super
at
Mario
launch?
Super Mario 3D. No, it had Zombie U. That was
Mario
the first-
It had New Super Mario Brothers U.
What about Mario Maker?
That wasn't launched.
that came out.
Oh,
a
no.
couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't
I-
think, was Super Mario 3D World even launch window?
I don't know, but I feel like they need good games to sell this one. I mean,
Yeah.
it's coming
It was a
in.
launch day
It's
game.
coming in between the PS4 and Xbox One being out for such a long time that they all have a huge library of games offering a console which is higher spec for less money, and it's
Well, I think that's a little. I think we can't compare it to that because those consoles have now been out for almost 4 years. So, of course, they're going to have a price drop. This is a new console with some new technology in it. Like the HD Rumble looks awesome. I can't wait to actually try that out.
what is that?
It is where basic Rumble in controllers now are just spinning motors with weights on them that simulate, oh, okay, it's rumbling. Apparently, the HD Rumble, if you're holding one of the Joy-Cons, you can actually feel it filling up with water. Like if somebody's pouring water into a glass or dropping ice cubes, that's how they were explaining it. It's more dynamic.
So I turn
sounds
I
awesome.
turn the vibration off on my controllers.
You don't
don't-
ever play with vibration?
I don't really like it.
Oh.
And you play inverted. How weird are you? Goodness.
What do you
Something
think of
I'm
the
not really
Joy-Con?
bothered about.
I think the Joy-Cons are too small. I think
Yeah.
everything about that console is too small, too unwieldy. I'm really nervous about how they removed the D-pad and just made it 4 buttons, but I understand why they had to do it.
Yeah.
What about that battery life, though?
2 to 6 hours, so it's really going to be about an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Portable console, not so good.
So disappointing. That needs to be at least 3 hours. Like, solid gameplay.
I don't
For
know,
me to
when
be.
I first saw it, I was kind of sold on the concept. I can see what they're doing with it. But again, I just feel like the execution leaves a lot to be desired. And it's going to be another case of it not being supported going forward.
Here's what killed it for me. If you go and look at the cost of the accessories,
My God.
Oh.
$70 for the Pro controller. 70. That is unacceptable.
So much.
And then the Joy-Cons are $50 each.
Mm.
But
Jeez,
you can buy
pre-order for me.
you can buy a little steering wheel for your Joy-Con.
Ugh. I don't know. Apparently, the games are coming on little cartridges.
Yeah, it's cartridge based. We knew that.
I wasn't sure about that. I know
The boxes for them look almost like what the UMD boxes looked like for the PSP.
See,
Cool.
cartridges, I just end up losing them because I don't put them in the boxes.
I thought that maybe they might take it further and actually be the first console that was all digital, maybe. But maybe it's not Nintendo's.
That would have killed them before it came out.
Not Nintendo.
Well, wasn't there? What was a recent console that was coming out? They were talking about doing that.
Xbox One.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can get a pair of Joy-Con controllers for $80.
Still pretty bad.
The dock, just the dock with an HDMI cable and the power cord, $90.
Ouch.
So if you want to have a dock on another TV, $90.
Have they
I,
got some kind of PS Plus thing going on, like a subscription
oh,
based
God,
thing that
it's
is really
terrible.
bad?
No,
Oh,
okay, so I
so
was thinking
bad.
about this. I was thinking about this.
Don't think about it. It's bad.
Your
I'm
brain.
I'm okay. I'm okay with them having a paid for subscription service because one of my biggest gripes with Nintendo is that I had a Wii, I have a Wii U, I've had a couple different DSs. Granted, you can transfer your content from one DS to the next, but I've bought virtual console games sometimes on 3 consoles now. There's no cohesive ecosystem like Sony has where you buy it. Some of them are 3-way crossplay. If you buy a PS1 Classic, you can almost always play it on Vita, PSP, and PS3.
Yeah.
There's no cohesive ecosystem with Nintendo, and there's no reason for that to not exist other than we're just going to make you pay more money. It's a digital file.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the license to play it, and it's not letting you play it on multiple.
What I think they have to do with this is if you're going to start charging for your online play, you have to make that cohesive moving forward. I'm fine with them not retroactively making it like, yeah, we're going to support all that crap that you bought before. You could transfer all your Wii Virtual Console games to your Wii U. There was a lot of loopholes to it, or a lot of hoops to jump through. But I'm sure they could push out a firmware update to make it active on the 3DS, where you could have this new ecosystem on here, and all of the games that you've purchased would be playable on the Switch. And they're going to need to up their Virtual Console selection.
Yeah.
It's the other aspect of the online thing for me. It's fair enough to have charge for it because Sony and Microsoft both do now, but they, first of all, voice chat etc. is going to be relegated to an app for your smartphone. Like, what the hell? And it's also going to have like a PS Plus thing where instead of a nice, reasonably new game, you are going to get a SNES game or an NES game, which you have access to for a month and then it goes away. It's ludicrous.
Now, has that been confirmed that it's only going to be available for that month?
It has.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So
what happens? What happens if they give you Final Fantasy 3 to play through, and you're really enjoying it, and day 30 rolls around, you lose it, and you decide, you know what, I want to buy this. Is your save file still going to be on your console to continue?
Who knows?
That's a good point.
I feel like they haven't communicated much about it. I feel like there's still a lot of questions. The only thing I really liked is the footage of Mario and the footage of Breath of the Wild, because that looks incredible.
Yeah.
Like, one of the best trailers I've ever seen for a game ever.
The Mario trailer, as I was watching it, I got tingles. It looked that good. I'm all on board, and that's the only reason I'm going to buy one of these is to play that game.
You're still going to get one.
Odyssey.
It looks weird having Mario in the real world, but
I don't like that aspect. I assume it's because he jumps between different worlds, though.
Yeah.
Well, they did say that he would be jumping into a new dimension, coming into a familiar
Did you
dimension.
see everybody comparing it to Sonic Adventure?
Yeah. I saw that.
What was really jarring, though, was the proportion differences. I mean, Mario's clearly a human, but now he's around other humans that look like they're out of the 1950s. And he's just, he looks like he needs to be taken to a hospital and checked out.
I loved the bit where he's doing jump rope with the people. That was cool.
Yeah. What's the deal with his hat with the eyes? Is that some sort of character?
It's a sentient hat.
It's going to be something like probably
Luna from Super Mario Galaxy.
I was thinking more along the lines of
Flood from Super
Finish
Mario.
Cap.
Oh, okay. The developers have went on record as saying this would be more like kind of Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario 64 than Galaxy with a hub world and stuff and then places to explore.
I didn't play much of Sunshine. It's one that I've really always wanted to play a lot more of because I think the water
it's really
pack
hard
had a
to
really
get
neat-
though because it's GameCube.
Is it not on the Wii U Virtual Console?
I don't think so.
You can get Dolphin on your computer.
I'm not sure if
I have a
run
Wii
it.
and it plays GameCube games.
Mm.
Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I forget that it does. Only certain versions of the Wii, though, I think.
No, I think they all do because it's
I
a
think
disc.
they all do as well. Might
No,
have to
there's
dig
one
that
that
out.
doesn't have the controller ports or whatever. I can't remember. One of them
There,
doesn't play it.
what? All the Wii's have a controller port, don't they?
No, no, sorry. One of the Wii's doesn't play GameCube games. You have to always check that.
Maybe it's the Wii Mini.
Probably the upgraded version, yeah.
Yeah, you know the little tiny one that just.
Oh.
I think you're right. That one doesn't have.
Hmm.
I don't think that one has the controller ports, Tom.
Yeah, no, I just remember seeing it because I was interested in buying a Wii just so I could play GameCube games.
Yeah, the Wii Mini does not have it. I'm not seeing it on any of the pictures, but it's only $90.
Because that library is feeling like it's lost a little bit. That whole GameCube library.
Well, this is the argument about emulation, isn't it? Because if it's not easy access, then
Yeah.
why not? Because otherwise that game's just going to be lost to history and people won't experience it.
Yeah, because if there were digital, affordable versions of the GameCube games, I'd love to play through Twin Snakes.
Yeah, Twin Snakes and Paper Mario on the GameCube as well. And
The Rogue Squadron games are really good. I remember those.
It was a great library that not many people played.
I'm sure there was a Pokemon RPG as well
I think there was.
on a console
there
called
was this-
XD or something.
There was this awesome game called Eternal Darkness. Don't know if you guys remember that.
I don't remember.
Talk about a
that
game that messed with you.
Yeah, psychological horror.
Oh, hey, deleting your game save. Please wait.
one. I've been watching Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, man.
I don't know though, guys. I mean, I really, really wanted to like the Switch. I was all on board after I first saw it, and I was looking forward to lots of games being announced, maybe a new Metroid, things like that, and just things to look forward to. Whereas in reality, I'm getting a port of a game I can already buy for Wii U, which probably isn't that much higher spec in Breath of the Wild. And
I think that's important to note, too, because this exact thing happened with the launch of the Wii. Because Twilight Princess was coming out on
Oh, yeah.
the GameCube, and it launched simultaneously.
But the difference
to
with
be
that
honest,
was, Eric, Twilight Princess had the motion control, so it seamlessly worked with the capabilities of the Wii. But in this case, I feel both games are going to be pretty much identical.
Well, can't you use the motion controls from the Switch for this?
Well, there's no sword play like there was in Skyward Sword or anything, I don't think.
Because you can take the Joy-Cons off the side and hold one in each hand and play the game that way, which I think is interesting. That be an adjustment period.
Yeah, you can, but would you?
No.
Exactly.
Those Joy-Cons are so small. Did you see the comparison shots where they were putting them up? They're barely bigger than a Game Boy Micro.
Really?
Barely.
Wow.
Yeah, they look tiny.
And they've tried to pack, it's almost an entire Super Nintendo controller on there, because when you take them off, there's L and R shoulder buttons.
Oh, I didn't see those.
Yeah.
And an NFC reader for Amiibo.
In the joystick.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
How
missed
weird
that
is that?
Bizarre.
Okay, so they're still
I
carrying
was just
on
reading a report that said the Switch is going to launch with fewer games than the Wii, Wii U, or 3DS.
Wow.
There are about 35 titles in the launch window. Not at launch, just in the window.
But
I'm not sure what they're playing at. This feels like it's their final chance at the home console market after the failure of the Wii U.
I think they had to get this one right.
Yeah. So it's a
apparently
bit of a
Nintendo
worrying
has
start.
like billions upon billions of pounds like saved up though, so they can
I saw
operate at a loss
something
for
where
years
they
upon
could
years.
operate at a loss for over 40 years and still be fine.
Oh my god.
Which is like ludicrous, but it also means they're going to keep doing this.
We're just gonna
I think
keep
here's the
releasing-
thing to keep in mind, though, is that Nintendo's kind of at that point where they are the Apple of the video game world, where they can just throw their name on something and millions of people are going to buy it. Look at what happened to the NES Mini.
Yeah,
People are just going to buy it. It's a new Nintendo product.
I mean, I want it just because it's new and Nintendo, but I know I'm going to be disappointed if I get it. So I'm not.
After the conference, Matt and the other guys and I all were racing around to get our pre-orders. And somebody found that Walmart had started taking pre-orders before they tweeted out, hey, we're taking pre-orders. We all got ours pre-ordered. I got into the cart, couldn't find my wallet. I had cash laying on my desk. I'm like, if I just give you cash through the internet.
I'm throwing money at the screen.
Shut up and take my money.
$300 bills. Take it.
Oh no!
Trying to put them in the CD slot of your computer.
So you did pre-order it then, Eric?
Well,
He pre-ordered
they
too.
canceled my pre-order because I pressed pay with PayPal. I'm like, awesome, here we go. Press pay with PayPal. Hey, congratulations. Email came through. Here's your pre-order. 10 seconds later, we've canceled your pre-order due to a payment issue with PayPal. Fuck. So then we were racing around. I just stopped conversating because I had to find my wallet. 15 minutes later, found my wallet on my desk directly in front of me under a CD. I just didn't bother to pick up the CD to look at it.
So are all pre-orders gone, or you're just not interested in pre-ordering now? Or...
So I pre-ordered one through Best Buy.
Okay.
And one of my really good buddies wants one, and he wasn't staying up to watch it because he's like, yeah, they'll probably have pre-orders go live the next day. So I pre-ordered two. I pre-ordered one under my Best Buy account, and then I was about to do it again, but I remembered what happened with my Majora's Mask 3DS, where I pre-ordered two, and they just canceled one. They're like, yeah, you can't have two. So then I just pre-ordered one as a guest and got two for midnight pickup. But now that I'm thinking about it, I really don't want it.
Oh, poor Switch.
I really don't.
This happened to you
I
with
was really on
PSVR
board with
as
it.
well.
Yeah, I was really on board with it. I went to bed like, this is going to be great. Woke up and just went, Mario looks great, but that's not till the holiday. I can play Zelda in 3 weeks on a console I currently have. I don't need to spend $400 on this.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a
Especially when
console
they haven't
that's
detailed any changes for Breath of the Wild.
that they've announced. Well, here's the thing. Did they announce that Breath of the Wild is going to be coming out on Wii U same day?
Yes, they did.
They did.
Definitely. The pre-orders are all live. So,
Okay.
I mean, most of the footage we've seen so far of Breath of the Wild has been running on the Wii U. They have said that in the past, and it looks great. So, why bother?
Yeah, I agree. I'm just going to get it on the Wii U and call it a day.
I'm interested, though, for the first time in a Zelda, voice acting.
I guarantee Link won't have voice acting, though.
No, he doesn't, but...
They have to keep him as a silent protagonist.
Yeah, but other people do, even Zelda.
Oh,
Have you not watched the trailer, guys?
interesting.
No.
I did watch the trailer, but the one with it was all music in the background.
Yeah, it's got proper voice acting and everything.
We talked about this with Final Fantasy 15. I don't like to consume 100% of the trailers because I feel like it gives away too much of the game. That happened with Final Fantasy 15. Polygon, I think, put together all of the trailers that had been shown, and after they'd played through the game, they went, yeah, too much of this game was shown through trailers. Almost all of the major points were shown through trailers. I just don't want to ruin it for myself. I'm already sold on it.
Wasn't
I'm
much
just going
story
to
to show, was there?
No,
That's true.
no. I think I will get a Switch, but it will be my girlfriend that gets it because she doesn't have a console, and she's still kind of sold on it.
If I get one, it will be after the inevitable price drop and if there is games to get.
I think I'll get one when I'm in Japan because they're about £200 and they're region free now.
Ah.
So
They're £200 in Japan?
yeah,
Really?
if you
Did
work out the
you
exchange
see
rate.
the story about the English retailer who put pre-orders up? And
No.
they basically what they did is they put pre-orders up for this console where you could buy it there and then, but this was about 3 months ago after it was first announced, so they had no idea on pricing, and they put it on for about £199, and they're going to have to honour all of these pre-orders, and it's going to be £280.
Oh. How many pre-orders did he get?
Thousands.
Oh no!
Is that just a law that he's going to have to honor that?
The guy actually did a Eurogamer article. He actually talked to Eurogamer about it, and he said, we're going to honour as many as we can. So,
Without going bankrupt?
yeah.
So he's going to look at it and go, we can honor 2.
Yeah.
Shit.
But wow. I mean, that was a stupid move. Stupid.
I'm disappointed. I really am.
I am too. I'm interested to see what other. I put a thing out on Facebook earlier in the week. A lot of people kind of said it's Nintendo. I'm going to get it. But
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the general consensus of our listeners. A lot of people wanted to get the NES Classic.
which is it's
Simply
fair,
because it's
that's
Nintendo.
fair enough if you love Nintendo. I'm not sold. They need to do a lot more to sell it to me.
You should all buy a Vita. Just be done with it.
You should all
I
visit
still play my
IKEA
Vita.
for all your furniture needs.
Yes.
Underrated handheld.
Do you think we'll ever see a day where Nintendo goes the way of Sega and just
I
puts their games onto their
I
consoles?
don't know, man, because
I
with that knowledge of they can keep operating at a loss for so long, why bother?
True.
wish they would, but
Well, they've got the handheld market so cornered. They're still dominating the handheld market in a
Yeah.
world of mobile phones.
yeah. And of course, they've moved over to putting out software on the App Store and Play Store.
I mean, it's arguably garbage, but
I know.
Super
But it's-
Mario Run's pretty
It's,
fun.
it's what the casual gamers are after.
it got panned pretty bad in reviews. It's not very good.
But I think the
Yeah,
expectation
it's
from
good.
casual gamers is a bit different. They're not after
Well,
the-
that's what Nintendo really goes for. They kind of showed their hand with that
Hmm,
with Wii and Wii U. It's really designed more for casual and for kids.
yeah.
Well, okay, I'm going to take that back because that could be perceived the wrong way. It's not for kids. It's more kid friendly than the other consoles.
Yeah.
As a
more family
parent,
friendly.
there we go. As a parent, I would rather have my kid have a Nintendo console
Yeah.
because it's more suitable.
At
Yeah.
the same time, though, I feel like something like Zelda that produces more aimed at a core gamer.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
Zelda is tricky.
but it's still approachable for younger kids too.
It is, I guess.
I mean, I was playing Zelda when I was 8, 9, 10.
Getting lost with the arrow.
Yeah. I mean, they needed to make it a little more obvious. The arrow wasn't flashing.
Could have been neon lights.
There wasn't a mini map with a star to show me where to go.
Not
There
like
wasn't a little character that came on and said, "Hey, dumbass, go
Like-
this way."
like Nina Cooney.
Yeah. Oh God,
I have to turn the star off on that one so that it gives me a bit of challenge.
that was the one thing I read at the very beginning of that game. It was like tips for playing Nino Cooney. Number 1, turn the star off. It just
I
ruined the
remember that.
game.
Yeah.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Did you leave the star on?
I don't know.
Because if you leave the star on, you never actually talk to any of the townsfolk. You just go straight to the objective. Whereas this one, when you turn it off, forces you to kind of figure out what you need to do.
How would you know, Tom? You haven't finished it.
Well, I have played it.
You must finish it.
You can't have an opinion unless you've beaten it.
I've put 10 hours in.
Ooh. There's only about 60 more.
I put 50 in and thought I was at the end, and Dan's like, "Yeah, you probably got about another 20 left."
Boo.
After you beat the main boss guy, there's an entire another section of the game.
Yeah.
It's mental.
God damn.
Mental.
I'm really looking forward to the sequel to that.
Oh, that's going to be a get it.
I believe it's coming out this year.
God, I better get going with the first one then.
Speaking of get it,
Get it?
our articles are live. Well, half of our articles are live.
Yes.
My article isn't live.
factory-sealed.com. If you want to read why Dan and I chose our games.
I remember asking Tom and Jess several times to do it, and they both said they were going to do it, and I still haven't seen them.
You did. I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
I will get it up. Not in that way. Not in that way.
Yeah, a bit
No.
difficult with a smooth area, but you know,
Hey.
we'll try it.
I'll get something up.
Don't misconstrue this.
You know who you're talking to?
Yeah, I know. I have to be so careful what I say to you two.
Really
So
do.
we've got Jock Bun's definitive list of not shit games.
Not shite games, thank you.
Oh, yeah, big difference. And the Caramel Cran's most get it games.
Get
I think-
it!
Get it!
I liked your get it rating system.
Every game has a different form of get it.
Love it.
I was quite proud of the Ocarina of Time one.
What did you write for that?
Hey, get it.
Oh dear. Hey, get it!
Yeah. Yeah. And then the Silent Hill. Have you seen my get it?
It's dead.
She's 7.
Final Fantasy 15. Indeed. Get it.
Clear skies with the temperature rising.
What did you do for Popular Cross?
Get it again.
Get it
Because
again.
I did it in 2015.
Oh, okay.
What about Dark Cloud?
What did I do? For
Finally
that one?
got it.
Finally got it, yeah.
Yeah, I tearfully finally got it. I'm quite proud of that image of my Carmageddon max damage. That was the first picture I took when I played that game. Slicing a lady on a Zimmer frame in half.
I'm quite proud of the picture you made with the caramel crown.
That took about 3 minutes.
different Crayola crayons or crayons, and he's just taken the one that looks kind of caramelly and rubbed it out a bit and wrote caramel.
And made it so it looked like crayon. All I did was I took the Y, turned it upside down, and erased the tail. I'm like, yeah, it's good enough. Crayon.
And I, of course, had Ronnie Pickering for mine. Was there any other choice?
Is that 2 years in a row with Ronnie Pickering?
No, it was Boris Johnson throwing a Mario shell last year.
So, Tom, you have precisely till whenever to get it up.
Yes. Probably this evening.
I'm not going to hold my breath on that one.
Ooh. That hurts.
Ooh, should we take bets on when Jess will get hers up? Speaking of which, Jess isn't here.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what? There was an episode where it was just you two, maybe Jess as well, and you didn't address once that I wasn't there.
Oh,
I mean,
I was so
they got the
sad.
picture.
I was sad.
Well, you should have been there.
Yeah, you guys can stew over that later.
Nah.
yeah, I'm not gonna apologize given your decorum when I was missing in Australia. So.
Oh, we had a lot of fun at your expense.
I know you did.
That's true, actually.
So, I think it's important to note that I think I finally convinced Dan to come over to America.
All right, yeah.
My goal is to see how much weight I can make him gain in a 2-week period.
Best of luck, Dan.
I
in
like
the
food,
desert.
so probably quite a lot.
I will welcome you with a warm durian candy.
Ooh. Can we have
Directly out of
ribs
my
and steak
pocket.
every night?
Not grits. That's no. We'll just have steak and potatoes. We will have what I consider to be the best potato in the world. It's called a butter stick potato. And what you do is you take a potato, you stick it in the oven, cook it, pull it out, cut it in half, and throw a stick of butter in the middle of it. Butter stick potatoes.
Is that
So
a
a
thing?
jacket potato with butter.
Yes.
It's a whole stick of butter in a potato.
Fat bastard.
Does your butter come in sticks?
Yeah, square, rectangle sticks.
You know you can get them in a tub, right?
Well, yeah, but that's not butter. That's more of like a
Margarine.
vegetable oil synthesis spread that's a couple molecules away from
That
plastic.
shit is far too healthy.
I need pure salted butter.
Christy, prepare the potatoes with the lard, please.
Tub of Crisco. Just slather it on the bottom of the plate so my food slips right into my mouth.
Just get some raw animal fat and smear it on.
My God, the butter sticks are massive.
Oh, yeah, they're like 8 tablespoons of butter.
Ugh, that would make you feel so sick.
I like butter.
Oh, yeah. That's why you have to get a big potato to soak it all up.
I've just seen that there's such a thing as like it looks like what do you call it? Lip salve, lip balm. And there's a
Balm.
Stick.
Yeah, like a chapstick, whatever. But it's butter instead, and you just run that over your toast. Have you seen that?
No?
Put the link in here.
How would I even search for that? Butter toast nice.
I've got it on the chat.
Yeah,
That's great. That's much easier.
brilliant. Does it heat it?
I don't know, but that's much easier than getting a knife and opening the tub, getting crumbs inside it. Oh, you just have this butter stick.
No. There's the way you don't get crumbs is that you take enough butter in the first place.
Yeah.
And then if you don't have enough, or if you have too much, you just eat the leftover and you never put the knife back in the tub.
Oh my god, that's amazing. What a world we live in.
Dan, you're going to love it.
I shall.
The desert.
I think Tom should come too at the same time.
I think you should too. We should have a factory sealed meetup.
Meetup. Like MEAT?
Yes, because we will be eating all the meat.
Well, Tom can't get his meetup.
I can.
Nah.
Look.
I'm not going to look.
Wait, I'll put the camera.
Wait, is this Jess selling tickets?
I'll put the camera. See, it's up right now.
Webcam action.
Tom, I'm afraid to tell you that's a pimple.
Dude, that is a trouser tent right there.
It's a damn small tent.
Oh no, it's a 4-man bertha.
It's a pup tent.
What for a dollhouse?
Guys,
Hello.
Sorry, dude.
should we talk about our game of the week?
Video games.
I think that's what we talk about on this show
Yes.
What's a
Yeah, we
video
should.
from time
game?
to time.
I already know that half this conversation will be about the difference between herb and herb.
Oh yeah.
I just know that's going to happen. I'm just as a
going to.
pre-warning.
And you're going to be wrong. And so is Dan.
It's herb, right?
And I'm going to say that Jess is going to take my side because she's not here to say that she won't. So Jess is on my side.
No, Jess isn't here, so
I called it.
Get wrecked.
No, I called it. You can't uncall my call. Jess is on my side.
Just did, son. Deal with it.
Oh. That's not how it works.
So
Eric, we haven't had an extended story about your life this week.
Shut up. Sorry that I lead such an interesting life.
I know, right?
You do.
You do.
Would you like
It's
to tell a
it's
story about your life?
You know, because nothing happens. Yours is like a sitcom.
See?
It is entertaining.
That you just want to keep watching.
Yes, because it's a train wreck.
Yeah. A beautiful train wreck. It's like a really immaculate Swarovski crystal train just plowing along, derailing every so often.
Fancy.
Quite.
Anyway, game.
Guys, what did we play this week?
Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil 2.
We played Resident Evil 2. Whose pick was this?
This
Is
was
it Yam's?
Yumbo.
my pick.
Yumbo.
Yeah.
Great pick, Tom.
Well done, Thomas.
Thank you. Better than my last pick.
Quite. What was your last pick? Shit?
My last pick was Driver.
Oh, God.
That's the last game you picked?
Yeah, it's been a while.
What happened?
Well, maybe if you'd fill out your list every once in a while.
No, I did. I completely filled it, but we sort of switched up weeks a bit, and then...
Speaking of which, has Jess filled in her pick for next week?
The Lost Vikings or something? No, I can't remember.
God.
No, we deleted those.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to ask her.
Or we could just make one up for her and then blame her for choosing something if it's terrible.
Deliver 2.
We're going to play Deliver again.
Deliver San Francisco.
Hey, that game was great. Shut up.
It was actually pretty good.
I'm sure it was. I'm just going with the Driver theme. Sorry.
Tom,
Yes.
tell us about Resident Evil 2, a.k.a. Biohazard, a.k.a. BH,
Well,
a.k.a. RE2.
Resident Evil 2, successor to the original on PS1. It's a third-person survival horror game. It was on PS1 in early '98. The version I played was the DualShock edition on PSN. I played it on the Vita. Yeah, and
I hadn't played that one before.
It's also, I always forget that it's also on the N64.
Yes, it is.
I don't know. I just always forget that one. And
With different coloured blood.
Oh, really?
What is it, green?
You can change the colour, apparently.
Classic Nintendo.
So I knew I was playing the DualShock version, but what did the other joystick do? I just never...
Yeah, I don't think I ever used it. Because of course it's classic tank controls, Resident Evil.
Maybe it just added rumble?
Yeah, unless it features in any of the other modes, because the DualShock edition also contained an arrange mode, which is kind of like a rookie mode where you start with an overpowered weapon with infinite ammo and ink ribbons. I think
it's Dan mode.
Shut up! I knew that was coming. I think you'll find that Dan didn't even play this edition, so Dan didn't even have a ranged mode.
Can I ask what edition you played, Dan?
I played the original, very first release.
Okay.
I was going to play my actual copy, but it was all packed up for the move.
What was weird is when I started the game, I bought it on the PSN store. It says Sony Computer Entertainment America instead of Europe. So I was playing the North American version of the game on a European console, which was kind of weird.
Ooh, the better version.
Well, it's actually harder because I think the game was made more difficult to avoid everybody just renting it, completing it, and then not actually buying it. So it's harder than Biohazard 2, this version of the game. And
there's so much to the history of this game, actually, which we'll talk about in a bit, I assume.
Yeah. You could really get into the weeds of it, but the basic synopsis is that, I mean, you can start the game as one of two characters. So you can choose either Claire Redfield or Leon Kennedy.
Leon S. Kennedy.
To be more specific, Leon S. Kennedy.
His middle name is actually Scott.
Never realized that.
Not shite.
Leon Kennedy.
Shite Kennedy.
I remember buying this on PS1. It actually came on 2 separate discs for both scenarios.
It did.
So Leon and Claire have some differences in their storylines. One example being that Claire is looking for her brother, Chris Redfield. And
have you seen my brother, Chris?
Leon
Stars,
is working
not here.
First day as a police officer.
Bad day to start, really.
First day on the job. Wouldn't you know?
Goddamn zombies.
Do you know why he's getting into town so late?
No.
He was having a shit.
I started reading the book to go along with
Having a
this.
shit and a wank.
Leon's kind of a moron for graduating in the top of his police academy class and all that. It's his first day on the job. He lives in New York City, decides I'm going to leave New York on my first day of work and drive to Raccoon City. Like, if you're moving to a new city, don't you think you'd get there a few days early, get settled, make sure you get adjusted, and then you have
he's on
time?
his way to work as he's driving. He has his work outfit on and everything. He can't wait.
Well, because he was running late, so he stopped at a gas station and got changed at a gas station.
Okay. How do you know this?
I just said I read the book.
I didn't listen.
Oh.
Obviously.
Yeah, Leon's not the brightest, eh?
And then there's a part where Claire talks about her ass in the book, and it's awesome.
What?
Yeah.
I ain't gotta get me a hold of this book, son.
It ain't no 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, I mean, this Resident Evil 2 is set a short time after the original, in a deserted Raccoon City. And it seems
It's only like 3 months.
Yeah. Nearly everybody has been infected by the T-virus, which is a virus that turns people into zombies. The virus is a weapon created by the pharmaceutical company Umbrella, which is kind of frequently referenced throughout the whole game and even the whole series.
Hang on this one, aren't they infected by the G virus?
No, not
No,
yet.
no. That's later.
You're trying to find the G virus. Everybody's been infected
right.
by the T virus.
Feels.
But I thought because the G virus gets dumped on the ground in the sewers and then the rats eat it, that's how it spreads.
And now we're getting into the weeds of it because this story is really convoluted.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever meant to create anything past the original Resident Evil. So there was no end game with this.
Yeah.
There's a really cool guide called the Resident Evil Archives, and it's got these flow charts for each of the games that show interconnectivity between characters and who they are, and it's the most convoluted web of bullshit. It's like, hey, this is Wesker. He went here, and this person died, and this person discovered this person, and they worked for this company while they were working for that company. And it's just this really weird chart. I'll take a picture of it quick and send it to you.
Yeah, and there are so many games, comics, and books. So you're just trying to figure out what's canon, and then there is actually a certain way to play this game, Resident Evil 2, so that it's canon with the rest of the games.
Even that's arguable, too.
Yeah.
Here, I just sent you that flow chart for this one, the interrelationships of Resident Evil 2.
Oh, God. That's,
because it breaks down all the different families, the Birkin family, the Trevor family, Alpha Team, Bravo Team, and then pulls in the people from the events that happened between RE1 and RE2, which happened in Maine for the Caliban Cove incident.
mm-hmm.
Is that from the guide?
Yeah, this is from that Resident Evil Archives book. Not the guide. There's an archives book that breaks down the story and has all the events of all the games and the characters and their backstories. It's a really neat guide.
Oh my God. That's cool, though.
And it does that for all of the games. So they do try to make some sense of the story, but I don't think when they developed Resident Evil, they had an end game in mind. That's why there's so many plot holes in this, especially when you move into later games, because what happens in later games doesn't necessarily always correlate with what the accepted canon from the earlier games is. Like Ada Wong, for example, is a huge gray area in the canon of Resident Evil history.
Ada!
I love you. So we played through this in pre-assigned order. I played through. So there's two ways. I think we explained this a little bit before. You have Leon and Claire. Their opening campaigns are designated Leon A, Claire A. And it's really interesting if you played both of them. The entire game dictates, or the entire game plays off of whether or not the car, Leon's car, does a 180 and hits the telephone pole. So if it does a 180 and hits the telephone pole, then Leon gets out on the side that's not near the police station, and Claire does. If you play as Claire, it doesn't hit; it hits the telephone pole head on.
Oh.
So the opening cutscene changes based on whose campaign you're playing, which is, I didn't really realize that till I played through it again this time. Like, oh, it does a 180 here, and then if you play through as Claire, it hits head on.
Huh. That's weird.
Which, I have a problem with this off the bat. In the cutscene, or in the opening scene, Leon's coming into town, Claire's coming into town. Leon discovers this body in the middle of the road, and these zombies start attacking him, so he runs away. Goes down a back alley, the door opens, sees Claire, tells her to duck, shoots a zombie behind her. They get into his police car and start driving towards the station. When a zombie pops up in the back, tries to eat him, and they end up crashing. This tanker comes up from a guy that's been bitten by a zombie, crashes into them, explodes, everything's on fire. Leon yells over the fire, "Hey, go to the police station, I'll meet you there." How huge was the fire? Couldn't they have just like gone around and met back up?
This is video game logic, though. Like when things are climbable, like quite clearly climbable, and there's no climbing mechanic, and you can't climb it, and it's just.
Or there's a wooden sawhorse. Well, can't get around.
Yeah.
It's always the same, and it makes no sense.
Or when they're together in this really dangerous area, like, let's separate. No, stay together.
Yeah, it's so true.
People,
I mean, it'd be like if the
people can just
military
seem
went
to get anywhere they want, and you have to really struggle and go through the most convoluted process, whereas everyone else just like goes through a tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I played through Leon A and then started Claire B. Dan, did you do Leon or Claire?
Leon.
Leon. Okay, so you and I played through the same way.
Yes. And
Now,
Tom and Jess were meant to do Claire.
Typical accepted canon is Claire A, Leon B, but I disagree.
Well, tough, it is accepted.
Huh?
Tough, that's the accepted canon, so you can't.
I disagree.
You can't.
I can too.
No, you can't.
It's called an opinion.
You're not allowed
And
then.
I shall opine my opinion.
Oh, shall you? What?
Yeah.
What?
It differs. This game differs hugely from the original in many ways that I'm sure we'll go into. And though my personal favorite is actually Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, I felt like it was important that we played this one first because it's generally regarded as one of the most seminal games of its genre.
Yeah, I have played it in the past, but not to a great extent like you guys have. I've done a little bit, and I feel when you first come into it, it's pretty jarring to get used to. As from a new start, because basically it just dumps you in it, no kind of tutorial or anything like that, and then you're not sure if you should be shooting the zombies or if you should be running away from the zombies, and gradually you start to get this understanding that you should maybe be saving your ammo instead of shooting all the zombies.
Yeah, I think if you're playing on normal, it's all about saving your ammo for the big guys.
Yes, and I did play on normal, Eric.
I didn't see a picture of it.
God damn it! It's not on the save screen.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I played as Claire Redfield, which I'd not done before. I previously played this game as Leon.
I think what made this game so amazing at its time, and I didn't realize this when it came. What did it come out? 98. So I was 12 years old. I loved the original Resident Evil, and I found out that my buddy's brother had bought it. I'm like, dude, you have to see if he'll let me borrow it, because I wanted to play it, and I was still saving up my paper route money to buy it. And he let me play through one disc of it. I'm like, well, this is kind of short.
Yeah.
But I still want to buy it. I want to play it again. And when I bought it and realized, oh shit, this is actually 4 full games all in one.
Yeah.
It's just, it was incredible because never before had a game had 2 different campaigns that you could play. And then when you're done, you get 2 more campaigns.
So are the B campaigns both different depending on which disc you use?
So what happens is what you do in Leon A affects what happens in Claire B. And I mean, it's very minor. Like if you come up to the locker that has
with
the side pack and the submachine gun, if you take both, then they're not going to be there for Claire. And Leon's firepower is better and stronger than Claire's. So you need to leave something for her.
Yeah.
To help her through her game. But basically the B campaign is what happens to Claire while Leon's going through his A campaign. So you still meet up with Leon in the same spots that you met up with Claire in the Leon A campaign.
Where everything's different.
Yes.
But would that be different from Claire A, or is it identical?
No, the 2 campaigns are different. Leon A and Claire A are different campaigns. Different story, which is why you pretty much have to play through all 4 to get the entirety of the story for this game.
If I did, for example, if I played Claire B after playing Leon A, would Claire B be the same as Claire A?
No, because Claire A, you are going through to the police station first.
Yeah.
Through the gun shop. Claire B, you're on the other side of the car, so you're playing the reverse of Leon A.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So complicated.
Yeah, and it's just little things like when you go into that gun shop and there's that guy pointing the gun at you. If you're Leon, I think he's pointing a shotgun, but I was Claire and he's pointing a crossbow. It's just little things like that. And actually, the voices, it's the same lines, but they're delivered slightly differently. So he's like, sorry about that, miss, and I thought you were a zombie. But I think with Leon, he just says, sorry about that. So
with excellent voice acting.
Yeah. But it's just cool that the dialogue is just slightly
It's
altered.
progressive game for its time.
Yeah.
The stories between the two A campaigns are pretty drastically different too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Like, when I got to the end of Leon, I was like, what's going on here? Because it makes no sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that pops up that you just don't get the full details on. So as you go into the police station, you discover there's more going on than just a random outbreak. You discover that the police chief, Mr. Brian Irons, was involved in Umbrella. So Umbrella was paying all of these companies or all these people off to help cover up all of their research. And Irons was being paid by Umbrella to prevent the city from investigating the sewers where they were doing all of their research. So you start to discover that. And I don't understand. Dan, you brought up a good point. They don't really ever explain like, oh, hey, well, I'm here. I should just check out this huge global conspiracy instead of like, I think I should just leave.
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing. And then he's in the police station for hours upon end, just wandering around, putting things in slots for no apparent reason, when he could just be trying to escape.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes little sense, but I can see why it's done in the context of the game. But as I posted on Facebook earlier in the week, like, who the hell designed this police station, and how bad would it be to work there? Because it's just so convoluted. Like, I posted this up. Like, imagine you worked there, and then you had to lock up, and you had to put the key in the fountain, and then paint a new picture to hang over the fireplace because somebody keeps melting it to get out the ruby, which you need to unlock.
To lock the front door.
Just, like, your head would be done in. This is why everybody's a zombie in that police station, because they've died of starvation because they couldn't figure out how to get outside. That's why.
You have to come into work 3 hours early just to be there on time. I mean, it makes sense at a game standpoint, but if you think about it logically, it's again these old survival horrors like Silent Hill. The puzzles make no sense whatsoever. Well, they did this because in the first Resident Evil, that was all relevant because of the Spencer Mansion.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hidden aspects to the Spencer Mansion because they were covering up this huge laboratory that was underground. And they just figured this is what made the first Resident Evil so great. Let's carry this forward. It gets even more ridiculous. Like once you make it to Code Veronica and you have to start collecting these ship medallions to get a gate open. It's just ridiculous. But it's what makes the series. It's kind of their iconic piece is just collect this random shit. Why would you have 5 different keys for 10 different doors? Can't open this one. Okay. Sir, you only get the heart-shaped key, you get the spade key, and you get the diamond key.
Where have you put the spade key? I locked it behind that door that opens with the heart key.
It's behind a painting.
Who's got the heart key? You'll have to ask Nigel. He put the rubies behind the painting, and he also put that other ruby between the statue, where you have to move the 2 statues so that they're facing the statue to unlock the ruby instead of just prizing out the ruby. And then you need to put both the rubies in the gargoyles to open the thing to get the rook plug. It's just so complicated.
Can you imagine writing a handover for the next guy that takes on the job?
just comes into work. He's like, "Yeah, fuck this.
Let us put this.
Fuck this. I'm out." Turn it in my 1-minute notice.
Chief, we've got 0 criminals this year because the policemen can't get outside,
and half of them can't get in.
To get to the cell block, you have to go through 1 million doors.
Back to what I was saying about the story, though, between Leon and Claire, where you pretty much have to play both of the A campaigns to really get the gist of what's going on. The B campaigns explain further, and they're not necessary, but they're good to play through. Once you start delving down into the laboratory and figuring out what's going on, as Leon, these key players show up, but you have no idea why. Like, suddenly you meet this lady named Ada Wong. She just shows up out of nowhere. And she's here to meet or to find a reporter named Ben. You find Ben in a cell. And then later, this random tyrant shows up and kills Ben. You discover that that's William Birkin. And you have no idea who William Birkin is because it's never explained in Leon's story. And then you meet Annette Birkin, who's his wife. And she just kind of does this really quick 30-second plot dump, which is like, boy, this is jarring. I have no idea what any of this stuff is. But in Claire's campaign, you meet Sherry Birkin. And through Sherry, who's Annette and William's daughter, through Sherry, you learn all about the Birkins and why this is happening.
Sounds like a sitcom.
So it's super important to play both sides of this.
Yeah.
Because somewhere meshed between the two campaigns is the correct canon.
Yeah, because at the end of Leon's campaign, Sherry is in the tram with Claire, and that is never seen throughout the entirety of the campaign. I was like, who's she?
See,
Yeah, she just shows up.
She's just there, and then she's like, she goes, Leon, as if she knows him. I was like, I've never met you before in my life.
there were
Because in Claire's campaign, you run across Leon with her, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, but there are sections of Claire's A campaign where I had to actually control Sherry.
So you control,
you do that with Ada Wong too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And she has like no weapons, no, like nothing at all. You have to just. It's actually they're quite difficult bits because you have to run through.
Ada does have a gun, but it's easier generally just to run past things.
Yeah,
And you only control her for a few minutes.
Yeah, very, very short sections.
But there was one bit of this, one bit in this game that really made me genuinely scream because of the horror aspect.
Really?
Yeah, like really made me jump out my skin. It was when I think you pick up the stone of the eagle or whatever it is in the interrogation room with the mirrored glass.
Oh, shit, yeah.
And as soon as it happened, I freaked the fuck out. Almost chucked my Vita in the air.
Because the liquor pops through the window.
I forgot about that. I nearly shit myself.
Yeah, that was the bit where I was like, oh, God.
You know what,
Tom, did you played this as a kid, right?
Yeah, but I didn't finish it.
When you first walk into the police station, you go in, you meet this dying police officer who kind of gives you this spiel about what happened, gives you a key card, you unlock the two front doors.
Yeah.
You walk into the next room, and as you go around this barrier outside the window, you see this creature walk across the window. I remember that being terrifying.
That was
like,
so terrifying.
I don't want to go into the next room. I don't want to go in there. I don't know what the fuck that was.
That was so cleverly done. It's
so
really
quick
subtle.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could miss it. I just remember playing this with my sister because she and I played through all the Resident Evils together, and both just being terrified. And we walked into the next room, and you come around, and you're like, "When is this thing going to pop out?" You come around the corner, and you see this headless body on the ground, and you reach down and inspect it, and Leon goes, looks like the head's been twisted off. And that's when I would go, yeah, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But you continue to walk forward and you see this blood dripping, and it turns into a cutscene, and this liquor pops down. It's just the most terrifying thing. Because nothing like that had been done in a game before.
Yeah, there's lots of really cool bits, like, and obviously the blood is dropping on broken glass, and you get all the sound effects of that.
Yeah.
And I love the visual representation of how your character's feeling. So you have these three states of fine, caution, and danger.
Yes.
And like Claire or Leon will actually they'll actually not be able to run as quick if they're in danger, and they'll be
I
stagnant.
played through most of this game in caution.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I'm not very good at it. So I tell you
terrible.
what bit actually freaked me out as well. I kind of remembered it happened, but there's a certain corridor just after the liquor where there's boards on the windows, and I walked past them. I was like, okay, nothing happened. And you come back later going the other way, and then zombie arms come through the boards and grab you, and I nearly shit myself because I wasn't expecting it to happen, because I thought it must have been on the first one when the dogs jump through it, I think.
Yeah. It happens on the third one as well.
Oh
when
my god.
dogs jump from the fire.
That one caught me off guard too. I'd forgotten about it.
And what else freaked me out? I really don't like the giant spiders. They are horrible.
Horrible.
Well, the first time you see him, you come down towards the camera and you can just see the legs
Oh,
Yes.
awful.
on the
They're
edge
massive.
of the screen.
They're massive as well. I just ran. I didn't even bother shooting them or anything. I ran.
what's so great about this game is the sound design too, because you walk into a room and they're isometric camera views. So you can't always see where everything is, but like with the dogs, you can hear the clicking of the nails on the concrete. And you're like, oh shit, that is a dog. I'm screwed.
And speaking of like sounds and music in general, I always liked it how all the save rooms had the same music, which is it always made you feel safe once you heard that music before the screen had even loaded. But it also is kind of unsettling and chilling at the same time. So it's just like, but it's just a nice indicator of like, okay, I can breathe. There's a box. I can drop my junk off because I've always got full inventory.
Yeah. I mean, what did you guys feel about that?
Oh, so much backtracking. That's one of the things about Resident Evil.
Constantly have to think about what you're picking up.
Yeah.
See, I've played it enough to know that I needed to play through pretty lean. So I typically, if I didn't have shotgun shells, I would just put my shotgun away. I never carried my knife with me because I'd never used it.
No.
That's useless.
That was an extra slot.
I used to...
And then if I got 2 green herbs, I would combine them.
Herb.
Yeah. I used to do... find it irritating how I'd save my game and then forget to drop the ink ribbon back in the box.
Oh.
It was such a schoolboy error, but that would happen to me all the time. But
I had all my ink ribbons in the box.
I was basically using the pistol for the first 20 minutes, then the bow gun very briefly, and then I was grenade launcher for the entire game.
Oh, she gets a grenade launcher.
Yeah.
She does, with different rounds, like flame rounds, acid rounds.
So good.
It's really good. Like,
a flamethrower with Leon is rubbish.
Well, it's meant for the plant enemies. That's it.
Yeah.
There's a special locker in the dark room, which let's take a step back. Did anybody develop any film?
Yes.
If you search Albert Wesker's desk 50 consecutive times.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You'll be given a special roll of film that you can go develop, and it shows a really young picture of Rebecca Chambers. Who she's the central character in the Caliban Cove novel, which takes place between Resident Evil 1 and 2.
Huh.
What's that got to do with the cabinet?
What's that?
What's that got to do with the cabinet that's locked in the dark room?
So I just took a step back. The cabinet is in that dark room, and I was just asking about the film. You can get a bunch of film throughout the game and go develop it. The cabinet says it requires a special key. And I'm thinking the first time I played through is great, I'll find this key. The way to get the key is you have to start the game and not pick up any items until you get to the police department. And when you get there, you will see a zombified version of Brad Vickers, who is one of the STARS members from Resident Evil 1, standing outside. And if you kill him, he'll have the special key. And inside are really powerful weapons.
Like what?
Damn.
I forgot. Let me look. Resident Evil.
That would be really easy to do as well.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you could definitely run past all of them. Compared to like the evidence room in the police station.
Actually, I take that back. It is not weapons. It's alternative costumes.
This one has the tofu character and stuff as well, doesn't it?
Yes.
What's the tofu character?
So tofu is something that was used as a game development piece to help fine-tune the collision detection, because they were still getting their heads wrapped around the 3D elements of the game. So tofu was just this big blocky character that they had put in.
It's basically a piece of tofu.
Okay.
Yeah. So he goes through... We have to look at... There was a mini game called The Fourth Survivor, where if you beat the game with an A ranking, you can unlock the fourth survivor and play as a new playable character named Hunk.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's a battle game where you have a limited amount of ammo and you have to defeat certain monsters and just try to outwit them to survive. It's super difficult because you have very limited ammo, very limited health. Trying to remember how you get tofu. I'm looking at it here really quick.
Seems
To
like-
unlock tofu, you have to have unlocked Fourth Survivor and cleared Leon A, Claire B storyline 3 times with an A ranking.
Oh my god.
So both with an A ranking 3 times.
God, have you heard how you have to get an A ranking?
Oh yeah, A ranking 3 hours or less, 1 or fewer first aid sprays, and 3 or less saves.
Sod that.
Jesus.
You have to know the game inside out.
Yeah.
Apparently
You could just
whenever-
you could just use an exploded cheat cartridge and unlock them like I did when I was a child.
Well, it's really interesting because you can actually break one of those requirements.
Then it
But
adjusts.
then you have to adjust from one of the other ones. So if you take 5 saves, you have to finish in 2.5 hours and use no first aid sprays. So they each have a value assigned to them. And once you go over a certain value, then your ranking goes down.
Oh my god.
I think that would be tricky, but if you knew the game after a playthrough, it might not be too bad. As long
Now,
as you memorized exactly where you need to go.
I think I only used 2 first aid sprays in the whole game.
Does it not count herbs as well?
The herbs count for less
Not herbs.
because there's a medical healing score, there's a save healing score, and there's a time score. So the herbs count less towards the healing score.
I got like rank D in the end, so
Did you actually beat it?
I did.
Oh,
I don't know if I
nice.
believe you because you didn't take a picture.
Don't believe me then.
I don't know, Tom. What do you think? Because Dan was pretty pissed off about that liquor
I
room.
know about the ending.
He was. He was.
Well, you
furious.
could have read it. You could have watched a video. This is 2017. The internet is easily available.
You know,
I totally didn't watch it on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. You did not finish it.
I didn't finish it.
I finished it and got a D ranking.
No, I will tell you why I didn't finish it, and it's because I missed the upgrade for the shotgun, which makes the last section rock hard.
Nearly impossible.
Nearly impossible. Seriously, I died a good 10 times in the same corridor trying to fight these lickers. Because then you get... Basically, what happens, just before you go in this laboratory with Leon, you can go down 2 corridors. I decide I will go down the right corridor and not see what's down the left corridor. Then I will potentially come back and go down the other one. It's the one place in the game where I didn't explore both ways, and that one time I didn't do it, I missed one of the best items.
damn.
Get an upgrade for the shotgun, which makes it ridiculously powerful, so it can kill a licker in 1 hit. But if you have the standard shotgun, it takes 3 hits to kill a licker, and there's 3 lickers attacking you at the same time, and they attack at different times, so you can't really hit them very well with the shotgun.
I know which hallway you're talking about. It's like a T intersection, right? Yeah. So what you have to do when you walk through there is you see one licker walk by. If you run up there in time, you can shoot him and kill that one.
Yep.
You pop forward, get the attention of the other 2, and then run back into the hallway so they both follow you, and then you can kill both of them at once.
It's still, I just couldn't do it, and it just drove me so crazy. So I thought, I'm right near the end, I'll just watch what happens.
Yeah. I mean, you were still a little ways from the end.
I wasn't, there's about 10, 20 minutes.
If you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Which I didn't.
Okay.
But I watched
No.
the scene where Ada dies. It's so bad.
Well, and the Ada death scene is important for the canon of Resident Evil because Ada comes back in Resident Evil 4.
See, I thought that was because he threw the G virus after her, so it'll bring her back to life or so.
And did you play?
See, I don't know.
Did you
But
play
it's
through
so-
Resident Evil 4, Eric?
No, I don't like it.
Okay.
It's so funny though when she's like, it's that old chestnut where she's hanging off the side of the walkway, and he's like, I can't pull you up, and she's like, goodbye, Leon, and she just falls, and then he goes, Ada.
And then he throws the G virus after her that he's been hunting for.
So basically, there's no point in doing any of this.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things about this series are the diaries that you find.
Oh yeah, they
Just-
were very detailed. I actually read them.
Yeah.
I don't generally read lots of things on games because I get bored. I just want to
Yeah.
play it. But I actually read through them. And I found them quite interesting.
Yeah, they're a great way of telling extra pieces of story about these various small characters and how they've
Done
ended
with
up
them on
working
Final
out.
Fantasy 15, am I right?
Yeah, there's just like lots of diary entries where there's a guy saying, I think it's in the chief's room in his office, about he's playing chess with this night watchman, and
Yes, that's why the elaborate system with the keys, with the chess pieces on them is made.
Yeah.
And I was like, that does make sense, sort of. And I was rather than just having it there.
it definitely tries to claw back a bit of sense with these diaries. And he's like, hey, you seem like, he keeps itching and stuff like that. He doesn't look very well. And it's just like, it's the early times before the huge outbreak of the virus. You get to sort of get a little bit of backstory behind it. I think it's pretty neat. It happens in...
I'll tell you guys what my favourite bit in the whole game was. The giant crocodile. That was cool as.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't expect that, because I've not got that far before.
How many bullets did you waste on him before you realized that you had to drop that tank?
I actually read it before I went further up, so I was like, that's going to be used. I did it straight away.
Oh, what, when he bites into the tank and you just shoot that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but before you go activate him, you have to, or before you go engage him, you have to activate a button that allows you to drop a gas canister.
See, I realised you had to definitely run away because Leon starts facing away from it, and that means you have to run. So
yeah,
true.
But that was cool. I really liked that.
So towards the end of the game, I fell into a trap where I thought that I wasn't going to be able to beat it, because you can actually get to the end of the game with zero chance of beating it if you don't ration your supplies well enough. Partway through, Leon gets a Magnum handgun, which is a one-shot kill to most anything, but you don't get much ammunition for it. So when I found that locker that had the side pack that gives Leon 2 more carrying slots in his inventory and the machine gun... What's that?
Thank God for that.
You don't get that as Claire.
You don't?
If Leon leaves it. Oh, is that only in the B
No,
scenario?
Claire B.
Oh, I didn't get it.
So I figured I was going to try to play through Claire B after this, which I started. So I left the machine gun for Claire. And then I got the Magnum. And afterward, I would find these items that would say M bullets. Stupidly thinking, yep, these are machine gun bullets. Leave them for Claire.
Oh, God.
They're fucking Magnum bullets. So I hadn't been picking up bullets for my Magnum, which is the one gun that you need to beat the end of the game. You have to.
Hang on. So if you get the machine gun with Leon, is there no other bullets for the machine gun? Because I didn't find any.
Doesn't it use the handgun bullets?
Does it?
I think it might use handgun bullets.
That would chew through them pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. So I got through the laboratory, wasted all of my combat shotgun bullets on the optional moth boss, where you can register a fingerprint. And then when you come through as Claire B, you can register your fingerprint. And it opens up a different door that creates a shortcut or something. I don't remember the specifics of that. Got to the final boss. All I had was 2 first aid sprays, 8 Magnum bullets, and a flamethrower. I was completely out of everything else. And you fight Birkin, because Birkin, I think we forgot to talk about that part. Umbrella is trying to steal the G-Virus research from Birkin. And partway through, once you hit the sewers, you get this really cool cutscene with these special ops characters coming down. They break into the lab, kill Birkin, or shoot him. They steal the suitcase that they think has the virus in it, but it didn't. Birkin takes the virus, injects it into himself, and becomes Tyrant. So that's who you're fighting at the end as Leon. He has 2 forms. About 4 shots into it with the Magnum, he turns. You need about another 5 to 7 shots on his next form. I didn't have enough bullets. Just flat out didn't have enough.
Ugh.
So I died, and I went, well, I don't think I can beat this. I just don't have enough. I tried it again, unloaded 80% of the flamethrower into him, did nothing. Didn't even change his first form. Died. Went, well, shit. And then I started reading through, like, is there a way to do this? Are there any hidden items? And some guy was saying, I was just backtracking through to see if I missed anything. He's like, pick up the magnum bullets in the tram, pick up the magnum bullets in the antidote room. I'm like, shit. So then I had to backtrack all the way there without getting hit. So I didn't have to waste my first aid sprays because that's all I had. I had no more herbs, only first aid sprays. Got up there, got hit 2 or 3 times, had to use both of my first aid sprays. I'm like, I can probably beat him without anything. Died. Went, shit, I still don't think I can beat this. So I did the math and figured I picked up 16 magnum bullets up there. I have 8 in my gun. I can waste some bullets getting up there to kill all these enemies along the way and make it back down with both my first aid sprays and enough magnum bullets to beat it. And I did.
Well done.
Nice.
Perseverance.
Got the magnum upgrade as well, right?
Yeah, so that's important to note, and I messed that up too. Otherwise, I would have been able to beat him. If you use your upgrade on an empty gun, it gives you bullets.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So I had 8 magnum bullets. If I would have waited to upgrade it, I could have beaten it right away.
You wouldn't know that
I would
if
have
you
had
were
11
playing it
shots.
without a guide, would you? So
No, I knew that it gave you bullets. I just fucked up on it.
I thought the bosses,
'Cause I did that with the
bosses
combat
were
shot.
quite hard to beat because of the tank system. It was kind of, you felt like you were meant to get hit and just keep plugging away and save, and then.
See, I had no issues with the tank system.
I didn't think it was as bad as Silent Hill was, but I thought it was still a bit clunky. But with the bosses, I thought it's quite hard to dodge.
Yeah. I think I remember on Resident Evil 3, you can actually...
You do about turn quickly, can't you?
Yeah, you can do 180 turns, which is really useful.
Yeah, you can't do a quick turn on this.
Yeah. So... But...
Speaking of shit controls, though, Tom, you and I were playing on the Vita, right?
Yep. Oh.
I had to unmap my rear touchscreen because for some reason, pause is mapped to R2 in this game.
Yeah, which is pretty much the whole back touch screen.
Yeah, you can't not press it.
Yeah, I actually was not sure that I could disable it. That's why I had to ask you, because I haven't yet played a PS1 Classic on it. And I was thinking, well, this is going to be crap if I have to hold the very edges of the Vita and play this whole thing.
Every
like that.
PS1 game I play, I unmap the back and map R2 and L2 to the top left and right corner of the screen.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you could do that.
Mm-hmm. You can reassign buttons.
Nice.
So, Tom, did you beat this as Claire?
I didn't.
Ooh, how close did you get?
I was searching for the antidote for Sherry in the sort of towards the end of the laboratory.
Oh, so quite near.
So you're pretty close.
Yeah, about the same as me.
And that's a piece that's important because in later Resident Evil games, Sherry has these regenerative abilities which rely on her having been injected with the G virus. So that's a part of Claire's story that's canon.
That's actually incorporated in the Resi 2 film as well, with William Birkin's daughter, sort of, carrying the G virus. But that film also incorporates Nemesis from 3.
I freaking love Nemesis.
And that part right there never happens in Leon's campaign. So Sherry never is impregnated with the G-type embryo. Claire doesn't have to find the virus. Or Claire doesn't have to find the antidote. In Claire's campaign, Ben, the reporter that Ada's looking for, is never killed by Birkin. And they never explain in Leon's campaign why that happened. So Ben had locked himself in this cell saying, hey, I'm safe in here. How does Birkin get into that cell?
He squidges through the gap.
I mean, I don't think so. In Claire's campaign, you see Chief Irons get killed.
Yep.
Ripped in half by Birkin.
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome.
In Leon's campaign, I believe Annette Birkin is wounded when G-Type drops a pipe on her head in the ceiling while she's holding Leon at gunpoint, and that's how Leon gets the G-Virus.
Yes.
Leon confronts Ada about being a spy. And then Annette shoots Ada, and that's how she falls over the railing.
Ada,
Which that whole Leon Ada thing is so ridiculous.
Ada.
They've known each other for 3 hours and they're in love.
Wow, there is so much of this game I missed by just playing one part.
There's a scene where you're going down into the laboratory with Ada, and she gets attacked by Birkin and gets injured, and he puts her down in like a little bunk in a room where there's a typewriter, and she kind of goes, "I know I haven't known you for very long, but I care about you. I don't want you to die." And then he's just like, "I have to protect you." It's just ridiculous. And then you have the whole scene on the bridge with Ada, and it's just so bad.
Well, I think in the Leon campaign too, Sherry keeps her pendant throughout the whole game.
Well, you don't see Sherry in Leon's campaign.
I know.
So,
But you see her at the end, and I believe she has her pendant on.
I don't know. I didn't notice.
So that
I was
means
just like- I
Ada
was just
never
like,
gets the pendant.
Who's this child?
That means Ada never gets the pendant, as she does in Claire's campaign, right, Tom?
Yep.
So she never gets the pendant or the G virus sample. And there's a different boss. Claire fights Mr. X, if I remember correct.
Yeah, Claire fights Mr. X, but I didn't.
What for
And
action, man?
Leon fights G-Type Birkin.
Yeah.
G-type?
Annette gives an explanation as to William's mutation and the cause of the outbreak to Ada rather than Claire in Leon's
What's
campaign.
the dealio with the giant plant in Umbrella's headquarters?
It's just a mutation.
All right.
It's just started to spread, and anything that it touches, it gives.
I thought
Mutative
they must
powers
have been
too.
using that for the virus or something, but it was never addressed. So, I don't know.
I thought it was interesting too. At the end of the closing movie, in Leon's campaign, it's Claire who says, "Chris, I have to find you."
Is that the setup for 3 then? There's 3.
No.
Yes, and that's why in Code Veronica, you're playing as Claire. It picks up the Claire story of trying to find Chris in Europe.
Yeah.
Code Veronica it's an insanely good game. Code Veronica is so good.
It's really good. It was not. I don't think it was well received, but I thought it was really good.
It's long too, and man, is it hard.
Yeah, I never got very far on it. A few hours in, maybe.
Has
How many
Resi
times?
3, Resi 3 only got Jill Valentine in it? There's only one character.
Yeah.
Stars.
I love that. The third one. It's pretty much uses the same assets as Resident Evil 2 as well.
There are a lot of Resident Evil's assets that have been reused in other games. I found a list of all of the assets that had been used.
One of the noises is definitely used for spiders in Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
probably is.
Like a scrabbling noise across the floor, definitely without a doubt.
I hadn't, up to the point that I got to, I had saved game about 15, 16 times.
Mm-hmm.
How about you guys? Did you save a lot?
12, my last count.
Wow.
I finished with 20.
God,
Shit,
you
I
suck.
thought, because I thought I was saving way too much. I kept saving because every time I
I
did.
knew I was. I just, for the interest of the show, and we only had a week,
Yeah.
I didn't want to continually replay sections.
Yeah.
I've beaten it with less than 6 or 7
See, I was
saves.
doing it.
Jeez.
I was limiting myself because I didn't know how many ink ribbons I was going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking like ammo, there wouldn't be as many. So, but there is quite a few.
Yeah, I think you get
Oh,
infinite.
here,
on
I
easy.
found a list of assets that had been reused. Almost every environment's been used as a setting for another part of the game. The police department is in Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil O2's Desperate Times scenario.
Oh.
Rebecca visits the shipping lanes under the city in Resident Evil 0. And then the below freezing point scenario is set in Birkin's lab. And then the only parts that haven't appeared are the city streets from the beginning of the A scenario. Otherwise, everything else has been reused.
Which is kind of cool. I quite like that. Everything's familiar when you play the next game. You're like, oh, I know this. I know this station really well. and then it has.
Yeah, I remember getting to the station in RE3 going, oh,
Yeah.
it's familiar.
Not this again.
Not the police station again. No.
I might just start playing through Resident Evil 3 because
No,
man,
let's do that for the show at some point.
I've put Resident Evil 3 in my list, and I've put it in for sort of early April time.
Okay.
So we can have a little break.
I've never
and then
played
we can...
3, so the whole
3 is terrifying because you have Nemesis charging around after you the whole game.
Yeah, I know.
So terrifying, but it's great because like exactly like you say, Eric. There's this guy hunting you the whole game. So every time you come around a corner, you're like, okay, is he here? Am I gonna have to?
So this is gonna make me. This is gonna make me hate survival horror again.
The voice that they give him too, he's so terrifying. Stop.
Yeah.
And that, interesting enough, Resident Evil 3 is the only one of the games that has a movie that almost directly follows what happened in the game.
What, Resident Evil 2, the movie?
No. Oh yeah, the second Resident Evil movie follows the events of Nemesis.
Oh, okay.
Because Nemesis is in that. But they did something so stupid at the end of that movie. They reveal who Nemesis is, and it's just dumb.
Oh, I don't remember that. I don't think I've seen it.
I do, and then he starts helping Alice, doesn't he?
Yeah, they reveal it to be Jill Valentine's brother.
Oh my god.
And then at the end of the game, or at the end of the movie, Nemesis has this fleeting moment of sympathy.
Yeah.
They really dropped it. Because Nemesis, he's this mutation. When you've been injected with these viruses, all forms of humanity and your previous self are gone.
That's all I remember about the Resident Evil films. That bit, and the bit on the first one where they have to go through a laser grid and to cut somebody into bits.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Cube Man. I love all the Resident Evil movies. I think they're great.
They're terrible.
The Resident Evil Apocalypse is so good.
Isn't there a new one coming out soon?
Yes.
The final one.
They said that the last 3 were going to be the last ones.
Okay.
Nice.
So did you enjoy this one, Dan?
I did. Actually did. I actually kind of want to keep playing it, and I might do so.
You have to play through the B campaign of one of them. The B campaign is actually longer than the A campaign.
Jeez. I thought they were just extra
if I
bits
can
tacked on
actually
there.
manage to finish Leon's campaign.
Yeah.
In Claire B, you actually start. You sort of get followed around by Mr. X as well. So it's kind of a precursor to what Nemesis was doing.
Okay.
I've actually moved RE3 to my next choice, so we'll play it a little bit sooner.
Coming up?
Yeah.
I hope people
When
like
did you
this
originally
episode.
It was originally in mid-March, but I've gone for mid-Feb instead.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that'd be nice.
Resident
Please.
3. Yeah, good choice, though, Tom. I liked it.
Cheers, guys.
It's convoluted as hell.
It
I don't
is.
think it's even worth trying to make sense of the story because there is no sense to be made of it. But I do highly recommend reading the books. The novels are great.
I might actually pick up one of the books.
I think there's 7 of them.
Good God.
I'll read the
Yeah,
first
they
one.
go through Resident Evil 0, then 1, then the Caliban Cove incident, then 3, then I believe Code Veronica
God.
is... Let me see, I want to just pull it up here quick. The Caliban Cove, then it goes through Underworld, which takes place between 2 and 3, then Nemesis, then Code Veronica, then 0 Hour.
Did you
They're
guys
all
watch
good.
any YouTube footage of Resident Evil 1.5?
I've heard
That's all.
about it,
No,
but I haven't looked at the footage.
There's a whole
That was
like
the scrapped second game, right?
yeah, but there's a like some people have done the walkthroughs on YouTube because they've got hold of the CD image or whatever online.
Yeah, like the police station was made to be more modern and stuff originally, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It basically had an entire
what do you
game
mean?
which got scrapped.
yeah, it looks great. It looks like just more resi.
Was this meant to be on what console?
PS1. I think I've put a link in the chat, which just shows a little.
Interestingly, there was instead of Claire Redfield, the other character was meant originally to be a college student called Elsa Walker.
Yeah, and but I can't remember her reason, what her actual storyline was, what she was looking for, or whether she was just fleeing the city. But yeah, it's really cool.
Different breed of dog. Web spinners were supposed to hide in ventilation tunnels before attacking nearby enemies. Good God, that would have been terrifying. I assume that's the spiders.
Yeah,
William Birkin was to be far more monstrous, able to kill other infected creatures.
Mm-hmm. I said they scrapped it because they thought it was dull compared to what they then went ahead and made.
So this strategy guide that I have, made by Game Fan Books, is kind of an interesting guide. It's one of those where you flip it over. Claire's on one side, you flip the book over, Leon's on the other. They have an interview. Supposedly it's an exclusive interview in here, and it's probably one of the shittiest interviews I've ever read. The interviewer asks like 9 questions in one, and then the developers respond with one sentence for all 9 questions. But apparently there was supposed to be a violent game over scene depending on how you had died. They had developed a specific game over scene for each of the creatures.
Oh, wow. I got stripped
But that
out.
had to be cut out. Yeah.
There's apparently loads more weapons in it and stuff as well. Like a Spaz 12 shotgun, which got recycled and used for Dino Crisis, which is a game we should play.
Oh.
I love Dino Crisis.
Do you know that the only thing that annoyed me with Dino Crisis is that the dinosaurs respawn when you when you come back to the room?
Do they?
Yeah. So you clear a room, move, you're like, oh, I forgot something. Oh. But otherwise, a great game.
Didn't know that.
I think we have Dino Crisis on our list this year, don't we?
We had it last year, but we
played just a laughable amount of it.
Yeah. So we should probably have that for this year.
Oh god, there was going to be an enemy that was a human and spider hybrid.
Yeah, where it was like a bottom part of the enemy and the top part was the spider.
That would have been the worst.
Yeah.
I would have hated that.
How awesome.
I hate spiders in games.
I don't like the giant ones in Skyrim.
Oh god. I've thankfully never come across those.
Or like the spider scene from The Hobbit.
There's literally a spider in the section at the start of Skyrim.
Don't know if I remember that. I must have seen it.
In fact, I think
mean, it's 100+ hours of gameplay earlier.
Played the first 3 hours or so.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on Resident Evil 2 before we move on?
Play it.
Tom, did you realize that we're turning a leaf with Dan?
We are?
we are.
He's starting to enjoy games that he previously hated.
Yeah, that's true. He's got an open mind. He's enjoying scary games.
We are all turning a new
Yeah,
leaf.
I didn't find this one scary apart from the aforementioned incidents.
Just a few jump scares.
Yeah. But Nemesis will probably freak the shit out of me.
I find the first one really scary as well because of the it feels more claustrophobic because you're just in the whole thing is in one big house.
Yeah, I've got the remake on PS4, so I might give that a try.
Yeah, I got the remake. It's really nice actually. It's really
I tried it and died straight away because I was trying to knife a zombie in the head and it wasn't working.
Yeah, the knife is...
I found the first game a lot harder.
It's way harder, especially with ammo is really scarce.
Yeah. Aren't they remaking Resi 2 as well?
Yeah. I think they're...
Are they?
Yeah.
Because Resi 4 has just come out on the PS4.
Yeah, they're definitely remaking Resi 2. I remember them saying.
3 as well. Yeah.
Year of
Can't
the
wait.
remake. Crash Bandicoot coming out soon. Woohoo! I can't wait for Crash Bandicoot.
The only things I remember from Resident Evil 1 super clearly are that first time you see a zombie, they go to that cutscene and you see him eating the body, and then he turns
Yeah.
his head up.
Yeah, that's the one.
Classic.
That's
The
the one that
piano
killed me
room.
on the remake because I was trying to knife it in the head.
The piano room with Moonlight Sonata, and then the hunters that would just lop your head off.
Oh, the first one's terrifying.
But the liquor's not in the first one.
No.
Because they're the
But the
kind
hunters, I think, are more difficult than the
of... See, the
lickers.
liquors are more iconic, though, aren't they?
I think so, yeah.
And William.
Good old William.
He's an iconic dude.
He is. Should we move on to the emails for this week, my gents?
We should, because we have a contest, a 3-part contest
Oh, yeah.
for some fantastic giveaways by our very own Andrew Thorson under the guise of Card Fighter Project.
Yay.
We explained this quite in depth last show, but they are custom cards that he had made as a physical representation of a digital game.
Yeah.
You can check it out at
Is it Card Fighter?
Card Fighters. I always mess this up.
You do.
It's got to be Card Fighter Project. Is it Card Fighter or Card Fighters? Card Fighter Project, because the website has the title of Card Fighters, but the URL is Card Fighter.
Card
So
Fighter.
it's cardfighterproject.com. You can read all about everything that he's done on here. You can actually download the cards yourself to have them printed out. He's making no money off this, but he put a ton of time and effort into making these. Even commissioned a few pieces of art to fit into this game.
They are sweet.
They look great.
Oh, a nice guy.
So we're going to be giving away 3 sets. The first set is the full beta set, which has, 100 cards in it, plus the 2 revised packs, one Capcom, one SNK. The next box is going to be the beta box with one of the Capcom or SNK decks, and then third place is just the other box of Capcom or SNK. So we have 3 prizes to give away today.
Woo!
But let's read some emails first.
Yay!
First email comes from dedicated listener Jack Grant.
Hello, Mr. Jack. Hello. Nice to hear from you all.
Fellow Londoner. Says, hey, Factory Sealed, I'll keep this short. Have you guys ever played any other games that had multiple playthroughs like RE2? Specifically, remember an Aliens vs. Predators game, which did this well. Keep up the good work, Jack Grant.
Metal Gear Solid 2 has 2 different characters.
The one that instantly comes to mind was Star Ocean Second Story, which had like 80 different endings.
Yes. That's what I was thinking of. Because you start as... I think you play as a character called Claude. And you can also play as other characters. And then there's
There are
80 endings.
87 endings.
87?
And that game is easily 60 plus hours.
It's great.
It is a great
Really
game.
good game. And it was...
Star Ocean Second Evolution has 100 different endings.
Isn't Second Evolution a remake of Second Story?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think it is. I think it was a PSP remake. But I'm trying to think of other games similar to Resident Evil 2 that I've played where you have 2 campaigns that string across that.
I can't.
Or just multiple endings. I mean, Chrono Trigger has different endings.
Yes, it does.
Oh, okay, true.
Let's see. I'm trying to think.
Dino Crisis only has 1, doesn't it?
Doesn't Final Fantasy VI have different endings?
No, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure it does. I think it... Hold on. Yeah, it has 11 different endings.
Does it?
Yeah.
Silent Hill, of course.
Yep. Most of the Resident Evils.
I like...
Final Fantasy 13 too, Dan. Depending on how you go through all the time travel stuff.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, doesn't Resi 6 have like about 6 different characters?
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
Mass Effect.
I know, right?
I love having different endings in games in general because it means that what you've done during it makes a difference.
It gives you another reason to play through it.
Yeah.
Well, look how different our endings were for Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
True. Dog with headphones.
Yeah, there are 6 different endings for that game.
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know. It's such a unique mechanic. I mean, you could pull in like the Walking Dead games from Telltale.
Oh yeah, of course. It doesn't feel like it's.
I still feel like most of
those
those are kind of pushing you down the same path, no matter what you do.
Yeah, your choices aren't really. I mean, I don't know if he's asking choice-based games, because I can't honestly think of another game like Resident Evil 2 where you can play through a campaign and then play through the other campaign that tells the other side of what you were doing in the previous one.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at something like Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky versus Trails of Cold Steel, that kind of does it, but those are two different games.
Yeah. Which, oh god, there was another
Final Fantasy
game.
X-2 kind of has different things depending on what you do in the game. You can, when it gets towards the end, you can get either chapter complete or chapter concluded. And if you get a chapter complete for all of them, you get a unique dress sphere.
I want to play that game
And
again.
then you also have the scene at the end where Tidus and Yuna go to Zanarkand together, which is unlocked when you get 100% completion.
It's not Titus.
It is Tidus.
It is not.
Tidus.
At the end of 10-2, it is not Titus.
Yes, it is.
It's someone who looks like
No,
him.
it isn't.
We'll have a fist fight over this when you get here in October.
10-2, there's a bad guy in it called Shuyin, and then at the end of 10-2, Tidus comes back because the Faith dream him back into existence.
Is that a special ending?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then I don't think I've seen that one.
Really? It's so moving. And there's
Yeah, I don't think
another
I've seen
special ending when Tidus and Yuna talk about what's happened at Zanarkand. Yeah.
See, because that's the whole lead up of the game is this Titus? And the standard ending of the game is like, no, probably
There's
not.
It's
somebody
a scene
who
where
she thinks-
Yuna's lost in the far plane, and you can whistle 4 times by pressing X, and then you talk to the Faith, and they say either, would you like us to bring him back? And you say either, leave it as it is, or yes. And then at the end, he comes back. He comes back in the Sea of Besaid, and then Yuna lands in the airship, and they have a hug, and then everybody cheers and is on the beach and stuff, and it's nice.
Well, that goes into the whole thing about in Final Fantasy X, is Titus really real?
I can't believe you've never seen the scene. You need to replay this.
Yeah, I need to.
It's amazing. It's so good.
I have 3 copies of 10-2. I should at least play one
Yeah.
of them. I have it on PS2, PS3, and PS4. I should get it on Vita before I play it, though.
I was going to say.
Let's see. Next question comes from Jay Jorgensen. He writes in, hello, FS crew. I played Resident Evil for the first time a few years ago, having never played the series and trying to learn those gosh darn tank controls. I died 3 times in the opening scene, made it to the police station, talked to a guy that gave me something, then promptly died. I stopped the game right there and never looked at it again. Having said that, I probably still made it further than Jess.
You did. You did.
I don't think she played it at all. Anywho, if you guys ever wanted to finish Legend of Dragoon, which I doubt you will, I would be more than happy to fill you in on the last 3 discs of that turd.
I finished Legend of Dragoon, and it was such a slog.
I will never finish that game.
The last disc was a slog. The rest of it was mediocre.
I genuinely don't understand why people like that.
Yeah, there's a whole forums out there screaming for it to be remade. It could be good if it was remade, if they reworked.
I don't think so.
But
I mean, we went in to play it. I genuinely wanted to like it because I'd heard such great things about it, but I made it most of the way through the first disc and went, I can't do 3 more discs of this. I can't.
That surprises me. Not because of the game's quality, but because you normally would just push through and see it through to the end.
It's because I wasn't there to spur him on. He usually likes to spite me, you see.
Exactly.
I wasn't there for that one. So
Exactly.
Well, the difference being, Tom, is that for me to push through, it would have been pushing through another 30 hours.
Yeah, but
With Ico, I could push through 3.
Yeah, but yeah.
And it was just that bad.
But if Dan was there and he'd have been saying that he'd finished
Yeah,
it,
you totally would have done it.
you would
without
have
a
had
doubt.
to have finished it.
But see, Dan needs video evidence for all his things now because he's ruined that trust we had.
Well, because of the easy thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, that just
shut
shattered
up.
everything.
Easy gate.
Yeah. When you play Resident or Silent Hill 3 for Halloween this year, you have to play it
I'm
on
going to play
normal.
it hard.
Yeah, please do. Jay finishes off grabbing your gosh darn cheeseburgers and curling iron, polishing your smooth areas, and playing some urban golf. Jay Jorgensen. P.S. Do you think Toronto Batman is a sitter or a stander? Probably neither.
Oh,
He just doesn't wipe.
yeah.
It just goes when he goes.
He's a
All of
stander.
his shit gets spewed out of his mouth.
Oh, poor Toronto Batman.
So,
You didn't have to suffer through
He's
that
only
show.
an insane guy trying to make a living.
I wonder where he is now.
Don't wonder that. It's not important. Next email comes from Brian Ha. Hey, Factory Seal crew. Well, it's been a long time since I played Resident Evil 2. Two memories of it stick out for me. The first was trying to figure out why the hell Ada bandages Leon's gunshot wound on the outside of his clothes.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great point. Or Leon gets shot and Ada goes, oh, better go find this lady, and just leaves him there to die.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, see you later, Leon. And then Leon gets up like nothing happened. Dude, you just took a gunshot wound almost through the heart.
Yeah. There's also a bit with Ada where she finds different items and she just looks at it and then goes, no, I don't need this yet. Because it's meant for Leon.
And then she just throws the key back through the ventilation shaft. Like, here, you need this. Oh, by the way, here's some shotgun shells.
Oh, that's what happens with Sherry and Claire. Sherry lobs,
Just throw things through.
lob stuff through the vent, yeah.
Yeah.
So dumb. He goes on, the second memory was when I was getting that cog thing out of the painting and Mr. X busts through the wall. Definitely a brown trouser moment. It was made worse when he did it again seconds after I'd beaten him and was leaving the area. I died when that happened because I dropped the controller and hid under the couch cushions.
Oh.
Fun time.
Oh my god.
Sincerely, double brown trousers. P.S. Have you ever watched anything worse than the original Resident Evil opening scene? I think I've seen worse acting, but it was in a porno, so I guess it doesn't count.
Barry. Where's Barry?
God, it's
I
like
was
Silent
convinced for the
Hill.
longest time. I was convinced for the longest time that Val Kilmer was in that opening.
Yeah.
It looks like him.
It does, actually. I'm just looking at it now. It does look like a young Val Kilmer.
It's so bad.
Barry. Have you seen Barry?
Where's Barry?
He's dead.
Harry, is that
I got
you?
a letter.
I saw this girl named Cheryl. I haven't seen Barry. Is he dead?
Oh, it's so bad. I remember now. It's all like, it's all acted by real people.
I just remember the old Tomb Raider scenes being really bad. Where, she would be speaking, but the mouth wouldn't be moving. And it was just,
Well, yeah, there's like 6 polygons per character back then.
oh, it's amazing. Simpler times.
Jill Valentine.
Next email comes from new listener Stefan Beshi. Says he's got a question for us. What kind of game is the best to play if you have a baby? Since my girlfriend gave birth to a little girl and all my RPGs are collecting dust since that, my picks would be games that are easy to pick up and also to put down. Diaper change. A quick fighting game like Street Fighter, for example. So I actually am the only one who has experience with this.
Exactly.
I think RPGs are the best to play with kids
Huh. Why is that?
because as a baby, the baby just sits in your arms. It depends. If you're playing it, well, no, it doesn't really depend on that because it requires more time. You can sit there, you've got the kid in your arms. Kids are fascinated by lights and moving colors and all of that other stuff. If you need something that requires a lot of attention and like a first-person shooter, you can't really just sit back and relax and have a kid in your arms playing a first-person shooter or something like Grand Theft Auto. I found the games like just recently what I'm playing, Abzu, Inside, or RPGs, I find are the best to play when you have a baby.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or
I
Journey
imagine
or
something
something.
like Super Meat Boy, where it's very fast paced and you can pick up and play. Would be quite
Yeah.
a good little game to play. I love Super Meat Boy. I love and hate it because it drives me crazy. But there's some trophies on the PS4 version where you have to complete an entire section without dying, and it's impossible. I just can't even figure out how you can do it.
Yeah, I've played through the first 4 stages of Super Meat Boy and I still don't have a single trophy.
I guess a lot of that depends on the child too, though. My kids were really calm, really even keeled. Ellie used to love watching Rocket League.
Yeah.
Loved
I
it.
remember.
Yeah.
My kids never have been very high maintenance, but I think if you had a kid who's, really high maintenance, requires a lot of attention, fussy, then things like that, where you could just pick it up, put it down. That's why I like the Vita so much, because it doesn't matter what you're playing. You just press the home screen and it freezes the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the battery
Which is why I thought RPGs were great. 'Cause it's like, all right, I'm going to play through part of this. Oh, kid needs something. Pause. Here we go.
Yeah, it's got like a really good suspend mode on it.
Yeah, you can't play online or anything when it's a kid, can you? So
No.
Generally, no.
I mean, I would say like things like Skylanders as well. I know it's not really a game that not a core gamers wouldn't play, but if you want to play a game with a kid and have them be amazed by it, I would imagine something like that.
Yeah. The hardest game to play, I find, it just, in terms of having to always have your attention on it, is games like Metal Gear, where the cutscenes are really long.
Yeah.
And you just want to just watch it and enjoy it. And then if somebody, wants something or someone rings you.
Yeah. I'm constantly like this when I'm playing something now. I'm like, is Crystal going to come in at some point and tell me?
Yeah.
Like start
exactly.
talking to me in the middle of a critical scene. And I'm like,
Yeah.
then you don't know, especially when we're playing a retro game, if you can pause it or if you press pause, it's going to skip the scene.
Exactly.
It's so annoying.
Exactly. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Same with just playing Resident Evil this week. You do have these cutscenes that you really want. There aren't many, so when they happen, they're big plot dumps. So you want to listen. And I'm listening to them on these little Vita speakers, and then my girlfriend's like trying to talk to me about something. And
Thomas happened to me last week when we were doing ICO. And after I played it, I went and played Shadow of the Colossus, and it has a really long opening cutscene. And then during the cutscene, one of the heaters in our bedroom, for some reason, decided to expel a cloud of dust. And I was watching the scene. I was like, Crystal, I was sorted out afterwards. Calm down. And then she wanted to do it there and then. So I had to go. And I pressed start, and it skipped the sodding scene.
God damn it.
And some of those games, if you press the PlayStation button, it suspends the game, but the cutscene still keeps rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did for this one. I was like, oh, that's so bad.
Sake.
I think I didn't miss much, but you never know.
No, not much. Guys, that's it for emails. If you want to send us an email, factorysealed@manitank.com, or shoot us your questions on facebook.com/group/factorysealedpodcast. All we requested for entry into this contest was an email. That's all you had to do. Or support us on Patreon. If you're a Patreon supporter, every dollar that you donate towards us counts as an entry towards winning. And kind of skews things in your favor. We like to give things away to people who support us.
Owning the gosh darn cheeseburger company. So if you could help, please do. Right?
When you come over in October, we'll scout location.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Yamas.
Good afternoon.
Still late morning here.
It's so dark outside.
Should we do third place, second place, then first?
I think we should do it third, second, first.
All right.
Yeah.
This is for. Let me grab the exact sheet. Hold on.
All right. So that everyone knows.
Yeah, don't know where it went. This is for one of the packs of the SNK or Capcom packs. Mm-hmm. Third place. If you win, you must send us an email with your mailing address.
Yes.
Otherwise, you will not get it, and we'll give it away to somebody else. We aren't your parents. We're not going to hunt you down for your address because that'd be weird.
Well, Jess is stalker, mate. So
Yeah. So who gets the 1 pack? Thomas.
That would be Sam Chun.
Mr. Sam Chun.
Oh, Sam. Congrats.
Yeah. Yes. Next one for the other pack plus the full beta card pack. Second place. Who does that go to?
Second place, that is Brienne Miller.
Oh God, she wins
She wins
everything.
so much stuff.
Nice.
Mind you, this is a completely random algorithm that Tom has coded specifically for Factory Seal.
It is. It is.
Very,
Yes, he has them
very
all.
high
He has them all
tech.
written on a piece of paper and points with his finger.
Yeah. It's totally fair. I close my eyes, I circulate my index finger, and then I just drop it on the table.
Circulate it.
Yeah, just.
Interesting.
There's.
Yeah, she won Just Cause.
A stocking
She won the stocking.
Yeah.
I think she won something else too.
and our undying love.
Oh, yeah.
Quite.
So,
Who is the win?
First place.
winner?
first place.
I think when we announce first place, Dan needs to do his
I will.
ham horn.
I was going to go for the oh yeah.
Nah, I want the ham horn.
Nice. Well, first place is Brian Ha. Is that a dog?
Congratulations, Brian.
Victoria Whimper.
You win stuff.
Yay.
Lots of stuff. You must send us your mailing address. I will try to get those out to you this week,
Nice.
hopefully.
Yeah, congratulations, everybody, and thanks for emailing.
Starting the year off with some giveaways. We're going to try to do a lot more giveaways this year.
You shall.
Yeah.
As always, don't forget you can support us on Patreon and you get more entries, which is what most of the people who won did, actually.
Oh, yeah.
As usual.
Yeah. It's a little skewed, but there's been a lot of times where people who didn't support us on Patreon have won stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, loads of
Yeah,
times.
yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. We gave away a lot of stuff last year.
We rule.
We'll give away even more this year.
We're selling an Eric
guys,
if
we don't
anybody's
know-
interested. We're selling an Eric if anybody's interested.
I mean, it's quite a good bargain.
Slightly worn, bit dense, lovable. Does anybody want him?
And a lock,
Can I have me?
and a lock of Jess's hair.
Don't do that. They'll get a stalker again.
Guys, Jess didn't pick a game for next week, so should we move my game up a week?
I guess we should, yeah.
Because I think we're going to need to skip the 29th since I'm moving.
Oh.
So Jess sacrificed her choice for this next week.
Okay.
Next week, we're going to be playing a PlayStation 1 game called One.
Oh, yeah.
Never heard of it.
Apparently, it is nothing but a rage-filled murder fest.
Excellent.
Oh, interesting.
You have a rage meter. I've never played it. I've always seen it. It got mediocre to shit reviews. But I've heard it's one of the most underrated PS1 games.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I'm going for this year in my choices is underrated
Until
games.
they're all
Cool.
shit, and then you will change it.
Oh,
Well, we're going to be like some of the games I've chosen. One, Klonoa, Star Tropics,
yeah.
Jade Cocoon,
These are great suggestions.
some shit side-scroller game for Genesis.
Still can't believe you've picked that.
It's because I like you, Dan.
I don't like you.
Oh, good. I don't like me either. Yeah, so we're going to be playing One next week if you want to play with us. We don't have anything to give away other than our undying love and affection and perhaps a slightly firm hug.
Would you like our reviews for this week?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now hold on. One, I'm going to give you a synopsis of one as per Wikipedia. One is a side-scrolling platform game, primarily moves in 2D plane world, is rendered in 3D, camera move in and out, blah 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 blah. Discover the identity of a main character named John Kane.
John McClane.
That's what we'll be doing.
Spoilers.
The only clue available is a barcode on the player's neck. So like Agent 47.
Is this Hitman?
Maybe it's the precursor. IGN, I believe, gave it a 5 out of 10.
Solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It is a difficult shooter. Theme is action-packed, nonstop destruction from beginning to end. My type of game. Dan, give us our reviews. I hear they're lovely.
You want a
this
good
week.
one or a bad one?
Let's get them both. Let's do the bad one first.
Well, this is by a lovely gentleman called 69 Sleeping with Your Mom 69. And he has awarded us 1 star out of 5. And he says, it's the worst podcast I've ever heard. He said, this is a complete pile of garbage and should be removed from the App Store immediately. I can't even believe how awful this was. If you have 5 stars, you need to go home and rethink your life.
Thank you.
So thank you for the constructive criticism there.
The thing is, like, we must have offended him on some cosmic level for him to take the time and effort to log into iTunes, find our show, and write a review about it. Like, that's how bad he thinks we are.
Oh, well. We have an average...
how many times have you watched something that's absolute shit and you're like, this is junk? But how many times have you actually gone and written a negative review about something?
Never, because I think it's horrible.
Yeah.
It makes me sad. But thankfully, Santos has left us a lovely review, which he says, worth a listen, 5 stars. A fun little podcast of 4 friends talking life, fun, and mostly video games. Well, not really. But starring Goof Troop leader Eric Peterson, Catwoman Jess Clarkson, Little Pip Daniel Curtis, and from the ghetto of GTA London, Corn Dog Tom Reagan.
Corn Dog Tom Reagan.
Corn Dog Tom.
Whether Eric is chasing criminals down his front street or Jess is dreaming of Toronto Batman, these 4 characters are vastly entertaining and worth a listen. And it's Mario, not Mirio.
It's Mario, not Mario.
Oh.
Mario.
How do you pronounce it, Dan?
Mario.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who says
Yeah, Jess calls him Mario.
Mario?
Jess.
What a retard.
In like our first episode ever, we just tore her apart for calling it Mario. I wonder if he wrote that review based on the first few episodes. I mean, even then it wasn't
How
bad.
how
It was
can
just
it was me and Tom in it then? Think about it.
Dan saved the show.
I did.
I think what we need
I need
to do...
I need a
talked about
sash
this
or a
is-
hat or something.
I think what we need to do is record an episode 0 that shows up at the beginning and we talk about the history of the show. Because I think, honestly, some people come in at the beginning and it was a vastly different show.
It was very different.
And talk about it just realistically saying, hey, this is where the show starts. This is where it ends up. This is what you should expect. Because most people pop into a podcast and are like, I'm going to start from the beginning.
And so,
And if you start from the beginning, you're going to get nothing like what you have now.
no, it's been aged over time like a fine wine.
Quite.
Or an old smelly cheese.
Burger.
Like a pair of gross underpants.
I mean, for the negative review, it's always going to happen. You're always going to get someone, but we get lots of very good reviews, and I'm very appreciative of them. We have 4.5 out of 5 based on 68 different ratings, so not half bad. Doing something right.
And that's the reason why we keep doing this show, is for the people who give us the good reviews.
And just because it's just.
But the
'cause
bad
it's
ones
fun
are
to talk
wildly
shit.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, that's going to do it for this week.
All right.
We shall see you next weekend with one Send us your thoughts. We want to hear them. Play this game with us. One. One, my brother. All right, I think we need to end it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.